Everybody thinks the day you hit zero is the finish line. It's not. It's the starting line for something nobody trains you for. Marcus called me at 9:47 on a Tuesday. I know the exact time because that's when Marcus calls when something good happens and he doesn't know what to do with the feeling yet. Zero balance, he said. First time in 4 years. I told him congratulations. I meant it. And the whole time I was saying it, I was thinking about the specific thing that was about to happen to him in the next 30 days. The thing nobody warned me about when it happened to me. The thing that's going to happen to you too, if it hasn't already. Because here's the question that actually matters. And it's not, how do I pay off debt? It's what happens the second it's gone. If you're into the psychology behind money, wealth, and the financial decisions that shape our lives, consider subscribing. I'm Jake, and I've spent way too much time making money mistakes, so you don't have to. So Marcus is debt-free, zero balance, first time in 4 years. That should be the good part of the story. Except paying it off was never the hard part. 4 years of minimum payments, he'd already proven he could grind through that. The hard part was what came next. The part where the money that used to have a job every single month suddenly didn't. And I already knew, standing in my kitchen with the phone against my ear, that most people lose that money within 90 days and never even notice it leaving. Here's what happened to me first, before it ever happened to Marcus. I paid off a card 2 years ago. $6,200 gone, after 14 months of white-knuckling it. And for about 3 weeks, I felt like I'd won something. I remember standing in my kitchen the night the balance hit zero, just looking at the screen, waiting to feel different in some bigger way than I did. Then I looked at my statement one night, cereal bowl in my lap, and couldn't tell you where the extra $180 a month had gone. Nobody sits down and decides to waste it. That's what surprised me. I didn't buy anything huge. There was no single moment I could point to and say, there, that's where it went. It was a slightly nicer grocery run here. A subscription I meant to cancel and didn't. Delivery instead of driving 5 minutes to get it myself. Small stuff. Invisible stuff. The kind of spending that doesn't feel like a decision because it never announces itself as one. By month 3, the $180 was just gone. Folded into a life that had quietly expanded to swallow it whole. I didn't have a name for it then. I just knew the number on my brokerage account hadn't moved, even though I was supposedly $180 richer every single month. It took me embarrassingly long to realize the money wasn't missing. I was just choosing, in 100 tiny unconscious ways, not to notice it existed. My bank account looked healthier. My actual net worth hadn't moved an inch. That's the part nobody puts in the debt payoff success story. The photo of the shredded credit card, the zero balance screenshot. Nobody posts the month after, when the money you fought 4 years for quietly slips through your fingers because you never decided where it goes next. So what do you actually do about that? What I do now, what I told Marcus to do that same night, before he hung up the phone, is take the decision away from myself completely. I had him open his banking app while we were still talking. Right now, he said. Right now, before you go to bed, before the feeling wears off. We set up an automatic transfer, the exact amount he used to send to the credit card, $150. Now leaving his checking account the same day his paycheck landed, going straight into his brokerage account instead. Not a reminder to invest it eventually. Not a goal he'd get to when he felt ready. An automation that moved the money before he was ever given the chance to talk himself out of it. Because I've learned the hard way that you cannot think your way out of the leak. I understood exactly what was happening to my $180 a month, and understanding it didn't stop it. Knowing the trap is there doesn't keep your foot out of it. The only thing that works is making the decision once, automatically, so there's no decision left to make every month after that. That's it, Marcus said. I just automate it and forget about it? You automate it. You don't get to forget about it. There's a difference. He didn't fully believe me yet. I could hear it in how fast he wanted to get off the phone. But the transfer was set. That part was done, whether he believed in it or not. Here's the part where I have to admit something. About 4 months after I set my own system up, the one I just told you fixed everything, I got a freelance check for $900 I wasn't expecting. Random gig, paid late, showed up on a Thursday like a gift. It sat in my checking account for 2 days doing nothing, and I could feel myself circling it the whole time. The way you circle a plate of food you've already told yourself you're not going to finish. And every instinct I just spent 4 months building told me to send it straight to the brokerage account like everything else. I didn't. I told myself it was different. Unexpected money, not a paycheck, didn't count the same way. I told myself I'd earned a little room. I bought a jacket I didn't need. Took my girlfriend out somewhere nicer than usual. Told myself I'd catch up next month. I watched myself do the exact thing I explain in videos like this one, in real time, fully aware of what I was doing while I did it. Present bias doesn't care that you understand it. It doesn't care that you built a whole system to beat it. It just waits for the $1 that isn't already automated, and it goes to work on that dollar specifically. I caught it eventually, not because I was disciplined, because I opened the app 3 weeks later to check my balance and felt my stomach drop when it hadn't moved the way I expected it to. That drop, that specific physical lurch, is the only reason the next check went where it was supposed to. I'm not telling you this because I fixed it perfectly. I'm telling you because the system isn't there to make you a person who never messes up. It's there so the mess-ups are the exception instead of the rule. For Marcus, the test came about 2 weeks in, and it didn't look like temptation. It looked like nothing happening at all. His checking account looked exactly the same as always. No visible proof the transfer was doing anything. He texted me on day 9 just to ask if it was actually working. It's working, I told him. You just can't see it yet. He told me later he almost turned it off that same week. Not because anything had gone wrong, because nothing visible had gone right, and the absence of proof felt like a reason to quit. He had the app open, thumb on the button, ready to cancel it. What stopped him was remembering the 4 years of minimum payments before this. If he could survive 4 years of a system working against him, he figured he could survive 1 month of a system he couldn't see working for him yet. He closed the app, left the transfer running. That's the moment that actually decided how this story ends. Not the balance. The thumb that didn't press the button, alone, on a couch, with nobody around to give him credit for it. 3 months later, I was in his apartment, the one above the laundromat where you can always hear the dryers running through the floor, and he pulled up the brokerage app without me even asking. Look at this. $450. 3 months of the same $150, moving on the same day every time. 0 decisions required. Marcus has this habit, new one, hadn't seen it before, where he screenshots the number the second it's good, like he doesn't trust it to still be there if he checks again tomorrow. He was doing it right there on his couch, thumb tapping the corner of the screen twice before he even looked back up at me. It's $450, he said, staring at it. You had the same salary in April, I told him. You have the same salary now. The only thing that changed is where the money goes before you get a vote. He didn't say anything for a second, just sat there with the phone in both hands like it might do something else if he waited long enough. I think that was the moment he stopped being someone who was trying to save money and became someone who was actually building something. Those are 2 different people. One of them is playing defense. The other one's playing a completely different game with a completely different scoreboard. I think back to that Tuesday call a lot. Marcus, 9:47 p.m., zero balance, first time in 4 years. That felt like the ending of something. It wasn't. It was the exact moment the real test started, and neither of us knew it yet. Everybody celebrates the day the balance hits zero. Almost nobody plans for the Wednesday after, when the money that used to have a job doesn't, and something has to decide where it goes next. You, in the moment, tired and unsupervised, or a system you built before you needed the willpower. I know which one I'm betting on now. Took me a $180 leak and a $900 freelance check I half blew to learn it. If you've got a debt that's about to hit zero, or one that already has, don't wait for the motivation to feel automatic. It won't. Set the transfer up tonight for the exact amount you were sending to the debt, and let it move before you get a say in it. Let me know in the comments what you did with the first extra dollar you ever had. I read every one of them. And if you're into this kind of thing, the psychology behind why we do what we do with money, stick around and subscribe. I've got a lot more of these mistakes to walk you through. I'm Jake. I'll see you in the next one.